Knockout Legends in the building. Like, comment, and subscribe. So today I want to talk about Carl Froch and his podcast, his podcast, Froch on Fighting. Now I'm going to play a clip from Froch on Fighting, and he addresses some stuff about Tyson Fury, and it's pretty interesting what he says. Anyway, I'm going to play the clip and then unpack afterwards. So with no further ado.
Conference, and he said a few things. Rachel, fill me in.
So, Carl Froch and Tony Bellew. Sorry.
Easy for you to say.
It is.
Just go again, we'll roll it. Come on, let's do it.
Carl Froch and Tony Bellew made no money out of the game. It's obviously hurtful to them. I'm making the biggest bags that ever existed, and I've just signed the biggest deal in boxing history.
Biggest bags, I love that.
Let's see if Froch and Bellew can have a mock-up fight and see if anyone is interested. Who cares what they think? They're just average little boxers with no personality.
Average little box. What are you smiling for when you say that? You're liking that, aren't you?
No.
You're a Tyson Fury fan.
Excuse
You've been
me,
watching his Netflix series.
It's just funny.
You've been watching his
It's
Netflix
funny.
series.
Come on, get on with it.
Religiously. So what was it he said? Right. I'm an average boxer.
Yeah.
I've made no money and I've got no personality. Ooh. Hey, come on, back me up. I've got a great personality.
Hey, I'll always back you up.
Good personality?
Of course you have.
I pulled you, didn't I, with it? Personality was... You didn't take me for my looks, did you? Let's be honest.
Oh, shut up.
Right, anyway. The personality thing, forget that. I've got a great personality.
Go with the money.
The money. Right,
first.
the money thing is it's not classy, is it? To talk about money, it's not classy at all. Me and Tony Bellew, and I can talk for Tony because I know he had a couple of lucrative fights on pay-per-view. We've done all right. We've got out of the sport financially free, with, more importantly, our health intact. We're physically and mentally in a good place. And that's the most important thing. To talk about money and then brag about earning 50 or 60 million or whatever this biggest payday is against Ngannou, it's nonsensical. We don't need to know about it because...
I mean, heavyweight is just a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
The heavyweights tend to make all the money they do over decades of boxing, with the exception of Floyd Mayweather and people like that who are massive. I mean, Nassim Hamid made mega money, but he was a massive entertainer. Everyone wanted to watch him fight. That's just how it was. But me and Tony, we've done all right. We get by. And like I said, let's keep it classy. Personality, I've addressed. What else did he say? I'm an average fighter. Average fighter, come on. Average boxer. Your CV does not stack up against mine. It just doesn't. You've got 4 wins over world champions. 4. Steve Cunningham, an old cruiserweight. Vladimir Klitschko, you beat him in an absolute stinker. I was there that night. All right, you won. Nobody thought you could win. You got the belts. Fair play to you. Horrible fight. Never watched it again. And you got 2 wins. You fought Deontay Wilder 3 times. You beat him twice. And you beat him twice. They're the other 2. So you've got 4 wins over world champions. I've got 11 wins over world champions. Lennox Lewis, what's he got? So like 14?
He's got 14. Yeah.
14 wins over world champions.
Mike Tyson's got 10.
Mike Tyson's got 10 wins over world champions. So
Muhammad Ali, 16.
Muhammad Ali, 16. If you look at these legends of the game, then you can see the difference. And to say that my career was average is just stupid. It's ridiculous. And you're having a dig here and you're making yourself look even more stupid. And if you look down at the comments when you do these stupid videos and talk shite, have a look at the comments and see how bad they are against you. And I don't want these comments to be against you. It's hurting me to give you stick. You made your pro debut on my first world title fight. It was both promoted by the same promoter. And I've got a lot of love for you. But it's just, I've got to be honest and I've got to be straight. I want you to just be defending your WBC title against other champions or top challengers. The Usyk fight didn't happen. You're fighting Ngannou instead of Usyk. You should be defending your title, really. You've got an obligation to the sport of heavyweight boxing as a champion. And I just feel, how long have you got left in the game? You might not have that long. What, you got 2, 3 more fights? And it's going to be a waste if you keep fighting these crossover fights. All right, you're taking the money, that's great. But when your career's over and you've finished, you want your legacy to be intact. You want that respect, and you're killing off the fans. The fans are turning against you. You can see it with the comments on all your videos and the stuff you say. You can see that they're turning against you. And it's sad to see. I don't mind you giving me stick. You're having a bit of a go back. You're defending yourself. You're on your back foot. And deep down, I think you know you're hurting the sport. And I think you know that actually what you're doing is bad for the game. You're taking the money instead of being full of pride for the sport. I think it's bad. Because I'll tell you something as well, you can have as much money as you want in your wallet. You turn up to the Hall of Fame party next year, you won't be dining on the top table with me and my peers because you won't belong there with that CV. So you need to get a move on, defend that WBC belt, and get in that ring with a real fighter. Somebody like Usyk or Anthony Joshua. Come on, let's get.
So from that clip there, Carl Froch addresses Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury's made some comments about Carl Froch and Tony Bellew because they've made comments about him fighting Francis Ngannou. And to be fair, they're probably just voicing what everyone else has been voicing about how it's a farce, how it's not a proper fight, you're stinking out the heavyweight division, you're holding it up, and so forth. But anyway, the points that Carl Froch makes about what Tyson Fury says about them having no personality, well Carl Froch having no personality, he's not made any money, basically just an average fighter. When Froch addresses them, he actually savagely disproves a lot of what Tyson Fury says and actually puts Tyson Fury to the sword by telling a few home truths. The fact that he has been honest and said what's the truth. He's defending his title against, did he say 10 title, I think it was 10 world title lists, and Tyson Fury's only defended his title against 4. He's had 4 fights, and basically the Klitschko fight, Steve Cunningham, who he struggled with, that was probably arguably one of his hardest fights. That along with the John McDermott fight and even the Otto Warling fight, he struggled in that fight. He shouldn't have won that fight anyway, but anyway. And then obviously the Deontay Wilder fight. So the first fight, he did struggle. He won it, but he did struggle, even though it was a draw, the class was a draw. And then the second fight, he beat Wilder fairly easily. But I think that was down to Sugar Hill. I don't think that was down to Tyson Fury. That was just down to Sugar Hill. And obviously the last fight, well, he beat him, but again, he was really lucky because he got dropped again in it. So, you know, this thing about him being the best, yeah, to a degree you are good, but I don't know if you're the best, because sometimes when you're supposed to actually just do what you need to do, you don't. And another thing that's of concern with Tyson Fury is the way he doesn't really take boxing serious. It's more of a joke to him, even though he says it keeps him sane and whatever. I think it's more the goal of having something to do to keep you motivated keeps him sane. What is he going to do when boxing is done? I've said this before, we're going to see a meltdown, and it's going to be really bad, I'm sorry to say, unless he finds an outlet to channel whatever it is it's in his head, or the energy what he needs to displace, because obviously because of his ego. It's going to be really tragic. You know, no matter how much money you make and how much you're trying to displace or use something else to fill in the void, it doesn't really matter. The void needs filling in mentally, and you need to be at peace with yourself. So that's another thing. And what Carl says is the truth. You know, he actually was on one of his shows, and obviously he doesn't really want to disparage him because he's a British fighter, but in the same breath you give Anthony Joshua a lot of stick, but you actually give Anthony Joshua his kudos in this instance, because you acknowledge that Anthony Joshua has fought more world titles than him, and obviously he's a decent fighter, and same with Usyk as well, because really Joshua didn't need to fight Usyk. He did it because it was his mandatory, and he didn't really duck it. He didn't do anything strategic in that sense. He fought him. So yeah, he lost, but you know, I think most of the best fighters lose. And obviously the mention of Muhammad Ali, 16, world title fights. Iron Mike Tyson 10, and who else was it? I can't remember, but I know Vladimir Klitschko's 14 as well. So, you know, this is the company that you're in, but you're supposed to be the greatest, but you don't want to fight anyone. And we all know why, because you've had 2 careers. You had your first career before you had your ban, and then you effed up and then got banned, and then you tried to make it out like you wasn't banned, and you stayed off until everyone forgot about everything, and then you did your comeback because, you know, you just felt lost. So you've regained what you've regained, and the British public loves a comeback story and a comeback king kind of thing, but you've milked the public for what you can get out of them. And I'm not saying I don't blame you, but like, you've not forgotten how they used to hate you because you used to be outspoken and you'd say things that you shouldn't say. But again, you can only fool people for so long, and you've told us the truth. You've always kind of in an indirect way told us that what you were going to do, and then do it, and then lie, and then go back on that, and then do something else. So there's nothing really new with what you're doing now anyway. And the fact that you're using whatever you're using to feel better about what people are saying, which is the truth, that's on you. Because like, it's like the True Geordie interview, when True Geordie asked him a few questions, he just blew up at True Geordie and called him a baldy, whatever. And it was funny because he didn't really want to hear the truth, and what True Geordie said was true. Why are you fighting Derek Chisora again for the 3rd time? Even though you promised your old mate another fight, why are you fighting him again? Why are you not fighting someone else? So there alone, that even shows you what it was about. It's about getting the most money out of the British boxing fans or the Saudis, wherever he can go to get the most money. You're just milking the cow. You're rinsing it. You're rinsing out the boxing, heavyweight boxing scene for as much as you can get, because you were jealous of Anthony Joshua because he was making mega money when you were out, and you got banned. But you got banned through nobody else but yourself. Wild boar. Come on, bro. We know what it is. It's PEDs, man. And, you know, he's got caught. And then obviously you didn't want to take your ban, so you just did what you did, and then you went off the rails. But that's on you. It's not on no one else. You got caught. You know, everyone else wants to slag all these other people that are popping dirty. But remember, Tyson Fury's no different. Everyone seems to like just forget about that when it's convenient. You want to slag Dillian White, you know, slag all these other fighters. I don't hear anyone slagging Elenius off. You know, he popped dirty and he fought Joshua, and Joshua beat him. And then we found out afterwards. I don't hear any outrage or anything, selective outrage. A lot of it's down to specific things and bias, but I'm not going to say what we all know. We all know. And that's just British boxing fans as well, and like boxing fans in general. It's more of a tribalist sport. A lot of people stay within the tribes, so they pick on people because they're from another tribe, and then use whatever derogatory terms they can use to lambast the other fighter, to downplay their achievements and what they've done. But at least these other fighters that you're downplaying and you're criticising will get in and fight with people, and they won't dodge and lie and use smoke and mirrors to rob the public and make money. They are actually honest about their intentions. Now, if they do that now, it doesn't really matter, because they fought who they fought, and they fought the best opponents that were available at that time. But anyway, I'm glad Froch is having a go at Fury, and he's telling it how he is, because it's the truth. And it's true, when you stack up the CVs side by side with Froch's, his CV's nowhere near Froch's. Remember, Froch was in the Super Series. He was in the Classic Super. He was in the first, I think, of that kind of design of that competition where he fought, was it the Super 6 it was called then, where he fought the 6 of the best middleweights in the world fought, and they were fighting for belts as well under that title, under that banner thing. So you can't compare it, man. Froch, for all his faults and, you know, the way he is and whatever, the guy is a true warrior. He was a true warrior, true You know, good fighter, and he deserves his Hall of Fame status as well. You know, even though he does talk crap at times and winds people up and plays the game and whatnot, but he will go in there and fight with whoever he'll fight with, and you know what I mean. And he has had some tremendous battles, so you can't compare it. Fury, yeah, you might be the current flavour now, but give it 2-3 more fights, we'll see if you're the flavour of the month then. And it's true what he's saying as well about the Hall of Fame when we'll be at the table. You're not going to be accepted into that club if you don't fight anyone that's credible, because you're going to be looked at as more of a joke, that even though you've had the belt, you've just done what Wilder's done. You just held the belt hostage, fought once a year, and then just fought easy touches or people that you think you can beat, and then just done these joke fights for as much money as you can make, because you can see it's coming. He's going to retire soon. That's why he's fighting in Ngannou. He doesn't want to fight any more hard fights. He can't do it. He can't make the weight. He can't get himself fit for it. He wants to do a half-assed job. It's like the people that turn up at your door to do your driveway. They just want to do a half-assed job and rip you off and then get off with your money. You know what I mean? So anyway, what are your comments on this? And do you agree with Carl Froch? So like, comment and subscribe, and that is another one from Knockout Legends. Peace.